Recently on New Zealand television, you may have seen a video by a band called the Rickshaws, which is a very, very flash video, very slickly produced, lots of kind of horror imagery in that, and it is actually the debut video from these guys, the Rickshaws. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Thanks. Now that video is, like I said, really flash. So how did you manage to jimmy that one up?
We pretty much just waited. We briefed a whole bunch of production companies and had heaps of ideas come back to us, and we wanted something that stood out a little bit, and waited and waited, nearly gave up, but these guys came to us with this absolutely crazy idea, and we just sort of took a risk on it, I suppose. We didn't realise that they were going to be so organised, but when we got down there we were lucky that they were onto it, so yeah.
Cool, and you're the damsel in distress.
Yeah, apparently.
The thing about the video, though, is that it all turns eventually, and maybe you can sort of explain kind of what the intention of that was for.
Yeah, I suppose that is definitely one for the director, because he had something in mind, but I suppose it's supposed to sort of be a twist on all those damsel in distress, and really I am killing the boys and using them to...
The last laugh in it on us.
Yeah. There's a pretty full-on image in there with their heads lined up across the wall. Yeah,
it's been a little bit controversial actually, so yeah, we're having to do a version that doesn't have it in there. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Now the Rickshaws, you guys are relatively new on scene. You have released an EP, but many people out there would not have heard of you. When did you guys come together, and how did you meet? You're kind of newer to the group, so maybe...
Yeah, you might feel this.
We started in October 2006, and the boys have been playing together for a little while. I auditioned for the band and they didn't like me. And they didn't want a girl actually, so I sort of had the odds stacked against me. But I came back for the next week, and I think they just kind of found it too hard to get rid of me, to be honest. And after about 3 practices, we gelled really well, so they kind of kept me with it in mind that I think if a guy came up with a better voice or something, I'm still waiting for that. But and then we recorded pretty quickly. We did 9 tracks, and of that built a bit of a demo EP of 5 songs, and then we got Ruben to join the band because we sort of were lacking like some layers that
we wanted a keyboard player, but I showed up with drinks
and a guitar.
Yeah, and a guitar, kind of 50-50, mixed bag, and took me on in the end.
Now that you've become a 5-piece, like you said, of course Ruben's adding an extra layer to the mix. Like are all of you collaborating together to write the songs?
Yeah, I think it is a group effort. I don't know how quite it was done prior to me, but I think now that there are 5 musicians in there, everybody sort of brings something in, and if we can't sort of work something out straight away, we'll tend to put it on the shelf and then come back to it, because no idea is a bad idea. They're just sort of things that we haven't realised yet. It's quite good working with people from all quite diverse tastes. Like we've all got quite different musical backgrounds. Like our bass player's into a lot of funk. Our guitarist Rob's quite into a lot of classic rock, and Chris is into like metal and punk, and I don't even know where I fit in.
We've probably got the most similar music tastes because we're a little bit older than the boys and sort of like a bit of everything really, but yeah.
I was listening to one of the songs on your MySpace page, and it reminds me sort of like of the 5, 6, 7, 8s. Like I noticed that you guys had you came together because of a love, or not because of, but one of the reasons why you all sort of gelled it as well as you do was your love of Japanese pop culture.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, like that side of the Japanese pop culture an influence, or is it more the sort of quirky, cutesy side?
No, it's a bit of... I know Ants is really, really into... Both me and Ants actually are really into a lot of the bands that come out of King Records, and just that sound that is really unique to Japan, I think. And then I remember when we auditioned, I suppose, Ruben, we talked lots about a lot of the Japanese pop culture, and it was really interesting that we clicked in that respect, because it is something that's quite odd, and our name is Japanese, and so it was kind of like, wow, this is kind of organically growing. And the cool thing about it is that you can do the quirky, cute sort of stuff, and I quite like dressing up on stage. So I
think the fact that I'm like the only one in the band who's actually even partially Japanese kind of got me in as well. So
yeah. So what's in the future for the Rickshaws? Obviously you've had your EP, but you did say that was more of a sort of demo EP. You're moving ahead, moving forward with new things. Have you got an album in the pipeline?
We're going to do another EP, I think, by the sounds of it. We've recorded another 5 tracks with Chaz from the Rebel before he went overseas. So we've got those just sitting there. We're going to do a little bit more work post-production on them, and then I think we'll release an EP. And I mean, I know from my point of view that I would be very specific about making an album and only put really good songs on them. So I think it will be a case of releasing EPs and then, you know, building an album from that possibly. So. Yeah.
At the moment, I mean, with the song on TV, it's kind of a good thing for us to try and do is a few gigs over the summer as well. Just get a live presence, really. As I said, I've sort of been with them for about a year now, and we're sort of trying to get into doing a few more shows as a 5-piece still, because it's still sort of trying to gel a little bit. A little less room on stage for antics. So
yeah, I struggle with that actually. Any stage that doesn't have enough room to cartwheel, I have a little whinge about, don't I?
You actually do cartwheels on stage?
Well, I've never played on a stage big enough to. I'm like, can you guys just move over or something?
There have been a few jumping and colliding and roundhouse kicking antics.
Yeah, I've had the ant bass in the back of my head a few times, and yeah, there's been a few little accidents. No A&E visits yet though. So.
ACC doesn't cover these things too well.
Now, you guys are going to be playing in Auckland on September the 13th, which is when people can hopefully get a chance to see you guys playing up on stage. Where is it again?
The Rising Sun in K Road.
Cool. Any other gigs lined up in the near future?
Yeah, we're just sort of organising a bit of a North Island tour, sort of. So we're going to do the odd gig in Hamilton, the Mount, Tauranga, possibly Taupo in summer. So yeah, and then some summer gigs. So yeah.
Well, Risha and Ruben from the Rickshaws, thank you so much for joining me today on NZown, and we're going to check out the debut video. This is the Rickshaws with So Free.